In downtown Monrovia, signs of Liberia's ties to the U.S. are everywhere to be seen. The countries have deep historical ties, going back to the early 19th century, when Liberia became an outpost for returning freed slaves. The capital is named after former U.S. President James Monroe, and the national flag, at first glance, might be mistaken for the Star-Spangled Banner. For decades, the two countries have maintained strong ties, but the rise of a new administration in Washington is testing old friendships, with Liberia among many countries facing an uncertain future without U.S. aid.
There should have been a transition. We know the government has the United States has its own right to make the decision, but at the same time, honor our diplomacy and multilateralism. It's sometimes good to look and have some conversation.
Support from the U.S. accounted for almost 2.6% of Liberia's gross national income, the highest percentage anywhere in the world, according to the Center for Global Development. USAID funding touched almost every sector of Liberian society, from education to forest preservation. But most went to Liberia's health system, so much so it made up almost half of the sector's budget. With that lifeline effectively cut overnight, it was a massive shock to the system.
I am a farmer. I have this little child on my back and the other child in my stomach suffering. My parents don't have money. They do farm work. If we don't work hard, we won't survive. We are begging for medicine.
USAID funded key areas such as malaria control, maternal health programs, HIV/AIDS treatment, and community health programs. It built schools and health clinics, provided training for teachers and doctors, and funded many other projects now left teetering on the edge. With the country so dependent on outside help, many fear for the country's future.
I can just imagine if the way USAID pulled out, if WHO are pulled out, and maybe the World Bank too is pulled out, Liberia is going to collapse.
This year, Liberia was supposed to receive more than $400 million in USAID funding, according to data from the Finance Ministry. But it only got $153 million before Trump suspended payments. Between 2014 and 2023, the country received an average of $527 million in aid funding. Stakeholders across Africa cite this sudden shock as the biggest challenge. Such was the dependence several countries had on the U.S. for support. They believe the funding cuts should have been gradual and with a warning so as to give the nation time to build up its own capacities. David Mbidi, CGTN.